What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, undefeated unified WBC IBF welterweight world champion superstar boxer Errol "The Truth" Spence Jr., 27 wins, no loss and no draw, 21 big wins by way of knockout. He's 32 years of age, 5'9.5" with a 72-inch arm reach. He will be going into a massive unification showdown with WBA welterweight world champion Cuban star boxer Yordenis Ugas, who is 27 wins, 4 losses, no draw, 12 wins by way of knockout. Yordenis Ugas is 35 years of age, 5'9" with a 69-inch arm reach. With that said, Errol Spence, obviously, Yordenis Ugas, he held his media workout on Thursday. Errol Spence held his on Friday. The fight takes place April 16th, Arlington, Texas, AT&T, Dallas Cowboys Stadium. With that said, they both held their media workouts. They both did interviews. And Errol Spence, most recently, in a Showtime interview he did, he stated that Yordenis Ugas is a very good fighter. Comes from the Cuban school of boxing. Cuban school of boxing is arguably the best school of boxing in all of boxing. Okay, Yordenis Ugas is big, he's strong. This is the biggest opponent Errol Spence has faced since he fought Kell Brook for his first title opportunity in the UK, in which he got 11th round stoppage victory over Kell Brook. With that said, Yordenis Ugas and Kell Brook, they have a lot of similarities, okay? Kell Brook is 5'9" with a 69-inch arm reach. Okay, Kell Brook is big, strong, technically sound, has a high ring IQ, has a great jab. So, there's a lot of similarities. Now, I would say Yordenis Ugas has faster hands than Kell Brook, and Kell Brook has more power than Yordenis Ugas, okay? Obviously, in 31 fights, Yordenis Ugas, he only has 12 knockouts. So it's safe to say he's just simply not a big puncher. So Errol Spence, he defeated Kell Brook in May of 2017. He got an 11th round knockout victory over Kell Brook, okay? That was for his first world title opportunity, okay? And Kell Brook, like I said, is a big, strong, skilled, technically sound fighter. So Yordenis Ugas, I believe he has faster hands than Kell Brook. But with that said, Errol Spence, he says that he has a lot to prove, okay? He feels like he has a huge chip on his shoulder. He suffered a horrific car accident, and he stated that, right before he was set to face off against legendary 8-division world champion, iconic Filipino superstar boxer Manny "Pac-Man" Pacquiao, he suffered a broken detached retina, which in his right eye, which was nearly a situation that would have saw him lose his sight in that eye, and he had to be pulled from the fight. So on 10 days' notice, Yordenis Ugas, who was supposed to be the co-main event for that fight, Yordenis Ugas was elevated to the main event, in which he outclassed and dominated Manny Pacquiao. So Errol Spence, he stated that Yordenis Ugas is owed 2 beatings, right? He stated that for taking the fight that was supposed to be his, that was a legacy fight for him, for Errol Spence against Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao is a legend. He's an icon in the sport of boxing. So Errol Spence said Yordenis Ugas got that fight, took that fight from him, and he stated that Yordenis Ugas also has the belt, okay? And he stated that history, this is a legacy fight for history for myself, okay? And so Errol Spence, he stated that he promises this is going to be an exciting, one-sided beatdown on the part of him towards Yordenis Ugas. He says, "I'm the best welterweight in the world." He stated that I'm arguably one of the best fighters, if not the best fighter in the world on top of it. So he stated that Yordenis Ugas is standing in the way of me and history. And he said he promises a one-sided beatdown. Now, obviously, Yordenis Ugas, he's somebody who faced adversity himself. Yordenis Ugas, he is a Cuban fighter born in Cuba, so he had to attempt to escape Cuba. He attempted 5 times and was caught 5 times. So the last time he actually made it out, and he stated he had to spend 2 days at sea. And he said a lot of people didn't make it. He was one of the lucky ones that actually did make it. And so obviously Yordenis Ugas, he has a child that's born with autism. and he suffers from alopecia, right? So what sees him loses his hair. He loses his eyebrows, he loses hair. So he's faced adversity himself, and he has a point to prove, because Yordenis Ugas, he stated that everybody's looking at him and everybody's saying that, he got lucky, okay? Manny Pacquiao was out the ring for 2 years after beating former unified welterweight world champion Keith Thurman in July 2019. He was out the ring. He came back in August of 2021. So he's out the ring for 2 years and a month. And he was on the wrong side of 40, okay, over 40 years of age. So a lot of people feel like Yordenis Ugas was in there with a Manny Pacquiao that wasn't the same guy and had ring rust, and he dominated the fight. Now, I would say this, Manny Pacquiao, he may have, age may have played a factor. Father Time's undefeated. The layoff may have played a factor. But for the most part, for me, I feel like Yordenis Ugas is skilled, technically sound, big, welterweight that has a great jab, has a high ring IQ, and is a very good boxer. And those are guys that always trouble Manny Pacquiao historically throughout his career. This wasn't the first time, so it wasn't a surprise to me. It was just a surprise that Manny Pacquiao didn't have as many bursts in the fight that he usually does. He couldn't sustain it. So with that said, and Yordenis Ugas is an orthodox fighter, and Manny Pacquiao is a southpaw, but he's a small southpaw at 5'5" with a 67-inch arm reach. Doesn't have very long arms, and he's not very technically skilled. He wins off of his explosiveness, okay? He wins over overwhelming his opponents with his foot speed and his hand speed and the power, and predominantly in his left hand. Now, Yordenis Ugas is stating that, he's southpaws are tailor-made for his style. And Errol Spence is a southpaw as well. But Errol Spence is a big, strong, technically skilled, athletic southpaw with a lot of power, okay, and a high ring IQ. He's not the southpaw like he fought in Ray Robinson or Manny Pacquiao. Ray Robinson is tall, about 5'10", with a 78-inch arm reach. He has extremely long arms, or 76-inch arms, if I'm not mistaken. He extremely long arms, Ray Robinson has, but Ray Robinson has a very wiry, thin, rangy type of frame, okay? He's not, a very thick, strong, powerful welterweight. Ray Robinson is a rangy, slim frame. He's 5'10" with a 78-inch arm reach, but his frame is very wiry, very thin, and he doesn't pack a lot of power. He has Ray Robinson has 30 fights and he has 13 knockouts. Okay, so he's in the same boat with Ugas with 31 fights with 12 knockouts. So neither guy big punchers. Now he did drop Ray Robinson, but for the most part, Ray Robinson is not a big puncher. Errol Spence is a big puncher. Errol Spence has a great body attack as well. Okay, so Errol Spence is the complete package. So, and he's shown to have a very sturdy chin, a very educated, technical, skilled jab, and more importantly, Errol Spence has great timing. Okay, Yordenis Ugas does have fast hands, but timing beats speed. And I believe his hands may be faster than Errol Spence's hands, but Errol Spence clearly has the edge in power, but his timing is better than Yordenis Ugas, okay? You look at Yordenis Ugas' fight with Manny Pacquiao, a lot of punches were missed. Look at his fight with Sean Porter, a lot of punches was missed. So he's accurate, he's slick, but Yordenis Ugas is a flat-footed fighter as well. And flat-footed fighters that stand in front of Errol Spence are usually tailor-made for Errol Spence Jr. So Errol Spence, he's promising that Yordenis Ugas is owed 2 beatings in this fight. He stated that the fact that Yordenis Ugas got the Manny Pacquiao fight and took that from him, and the fact that he's standing away and has a belt, he's owed 2 whippings. This is what Errol Spence said. And he's promising a one-sided beatdown. Okay, so he stated that it's going to be exciting, one-sided, dominant performance, okay, on his part. So obviously, Yordenis Ugas, he feels like he is a chip on his shoulder because he feels like he's being overlooked. The rubber's going to meet the road. This is going to be a high-speed chess match in the first 5 rounds, in my opinion. I think that it's going to take some time for Errol Spence to get the the timing and the range and the distance and speed and the skill set of Yordenis Ugas down pat. And I do think it's going to take time for Yordenis Ugas to get comfortable with the power of Errol Spence. And another thing Errol Spence brings to the table is his body attack. It's something that Yordenis Ugas is not used to seeing, and his relentlessness. But at the same time, Yordenis Ugas is going to have relentlessness because the chip on his shoulder is going to be massive, as it's never been a Cuban fighter to win unified 3 belts. This is the first fight in history. In history, he's chasing history. He's looking to solidify his legacy and prove as well that his fight with Manny Pacquiao wasn't a fluke. It wasn't just simply because Manny Pacquiao was a 40-year-old ring rust out the ring to past his prime. Okay, he wants to prove that he could beat the best of the best. So he stated this is the biggest fight in Cuban history should he win this fight. So we got to see how this unfolds and plays out. But that's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button, drop a comment in the comment section, let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notification. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.